DDG, 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 the man.
Hey guys, what's up? DJ's Man here, back in another video. Today's video is going to be my review of Madoka Magica. No major spoilers, and without further ado, let's go ahead and get started.
Don't lose your way, your mind.
The story starts out about a girl named Madoka, who is approached by this little creature named Kyubey and is asked if she wants to become a magical girl.
Ha! Gay!
I know, I kind of know what you guys are I can understand that reaction, because you guys are probably sitting there like, you're trying to get me to watch a magical girl show? Are you kidding me? Well, this show is a lot deeper and darker than other magical girl shows. Not that I really watch a lot of magical girl shows. The only other one that I've actually watched is Sailor Moon. So if you don't believe me that this show's a bit darker than you might think it is, then here's a quick clip for you. Yeah, pretty cool, right? So stick with me, you guys. So before we continue on with the story, what are magical girls, or at least what are magical girls in this series? Well, in this series, magical girls are these girls, of course, with magical powers that fight these things called witches. And these witches aren't exactly what you actually may think they are. They're not like people that are using like their powers for evil or something like that. These witches are actually monsters, and what these monsters do is that they kind of feed on the suffering and grief of humanity, and they kind of try to drive you to do evil things or try to do evil stuff to yourself. Like they try to get you to kill yourself or other things along those lines. So yes, the point of these magical girls is for them to kill these witches. Okay, back to the story at hand. So this little creature named Kyubey goes up to Madoka, approaches Madoka and asks her, does she want to become a magical girl? And Madoka is kind of, debating whether she wants to become one or not, because if she does become one, she'll be giving up her normal life and everything along those lines to becoming a magical girl, which is a person that, of course, should be out fighting witches and protecting people and all that stuff along those lines. Also, she really wouldn't get any recognition. Not that she really wants recognition, it's just that, she just wouldn't get any recognition because, one, normal people can't see witches, and they also, I don't really think normal people can actually even feel their presence. So, of course, people just don't know that these witches exist. Secondly, to kill a witch, you kind of have to go into that witch's kind of like dimension or whatever, so then normal people don't see you in action. So yes, in the beginning, she doesn't really become a magical girl right away because she's kind of debating whether she wants to give up her normal life or not. But that kind of changes a little later on in the series. She's still debating whether she wants to still become a magical girl a little later on in the series, but not for the same reason. She is debating now that if she wants to become a magical girl or not, because she's actually seen what magical girls go through. She knows that it's not all fun and games. It's not like you just kill the witch of the week and then it's over with. No, it's very dangerous and you can die at any time. She also sees the struggles that magical girls really have to go through because they are magical girls, and she also learns some stuff that, Kyubey's just not telling her about when it comes to becoming a magical girl. Speaking of Kyubey, how does he turn girls into magical girls? Well, what happens is once Kyubey approaches you, he'll ask you to make a wish, and whatever wish you make, he'll make it come true. It can be from being extremely rich. You can wish for like the perfect boyfriend. It doesn't matter, whatever the wish is. So he'll grant that wish, and then you'll become a magical girl. And with that said about Kyubey, let's move on to the characters. There are 5 main girls in this series, and they're all magical girls, and they are Madoka, Sayaka, Homura, Mami, and Kyoko, and I really hope I pronounced that last one right. Yes, there may be 5 main characters, but I'm only going to be focused on 2 of them. The first one being Madoka. Madoka is just a really sweet and caring girl, especially when it comes to her friends, and she just wants the best for everyone. And then we have Homura, and she is just stone cold. Like, there's a point in the series where she tells Sayaka if she doesn't stop moping around trying to get herself killed, that she was going to kill her herself, and she meant it. The thing about Homura is that her goal is actually to try to stop people from becoming magical girls, and it's probably because she knows the horrors of being a magical girl. Again, it's not fun and games, it's serious business. And secondly, she knows some of the secrets that Kyubey just doesn't tell you when you become a magical girl. Now let's go ahead and talk about the good. First up is the music, and the music is just terrific. It fits the show so well. Next is the animation, and the animation is beautiful, and when it wants to be, it can be dark when it wants to be. It just looks like a movie throughout, but that's to be expected from a series that is only 12 episodes. And you may be, you may think that I would be upset by the fact that this show is only 12 episodes, but the story is so well done that I'm not upset about that fact. One of the things that I really like about this show is episode 10. Episode 10 is just a game changer. It really opens your eyes to really what's going on in the story. It wasn't until episode 10 that I started to really appreciate and understand why people really love this show. Like, up until episode 10, I was enjoying the show, but I wasn't really seeing why people, enjoyed it or liked it as much as they did until episode 10, and episode 10, like, Another thing that I like is that they actually give, a decent reason to why Homura is as cold as she is. Of course, I'm not going to tell you here. That's a spoiler. And one of the things that I was pleasantly surprised about is that the show's story didn't go the way that I thought it was going to. The way that you would think this type of show would go, a magical girl show would go, is that, girl gets powers and they just fight, random monster of the week. But that's not how this show goes down. So with all that good stuff out the way, let's talk about the bad. So like always, we're going to start off with some nitpicks and then I'll get into my main problem. The first nitpick here being that we never find out what mommy wishes for her to become a magical girl. We find out what all the other girls wish for, but we never find out what mommy wishes for. And that bothers me a little bit, it just kind of does. We never find out why. And the best fan theory that I saw is that she kind of wishes that that she doesn't die alone. And that, if you watch the show, that does make the most amount of sense, so I'm gonna go with that fan theory. My second nitpick is I just don't have a waifu in this series. Like, all the girls here are like aren't even in high school yet, and I ain't about that lowly life. It just gives me chills thinking about it, man. Okay, so my main problem with this series is that it just doesn't have enough action that you just want to see. I know that's not what this series is about. This series is not about the action. But you just want more of it. It's like the show's just begging for more, and you just don't get it. Like, it would have been cool to have maybe 1 or 2 more fights with the girls going all out against the witch or something, but we just don't get that. And come on, guys, don't you agree with me? The last thing I want to say before we get to the conclusion is that what I'm about to say isn't particularly a good thing or a bad thing. It's just that the ending is kind of bittersweet, and it's just bittersweet. That's not a good thing or a bad thing, and I'm just warning you before you go into it. It was like a So overall, I really enjoyed this series, especially when it got to episode 10. I just really enjoyed it. This series may only be 12 episodes, but it's still definitely worth the watch. Yes, I do wish there was some more action, and yes, the ending is still kind of bittersweet, but overall, I just enjoyed this series. So, in the end, I'm going to head and give this an 8 out of 10. Really enjoyed it. You should definitely watch it. Whatever. So again, you guys, if you like the video, and if you like me, subscribe to me. And as always, this is DDG's Man, and I'll catch y'all next time.